All right, the time is 6:30. Welcome everyone to the July 28th Public Works Committee meeting. If anyone is here from the public that wishes to speak, just raise your hand when we get to your agenda item and we'll give you the chair for a moment, give you the floor. Ben, do you want to check our attendance?
Yep. Chair Lang,
Present.
Alder Myers,
Present.
Member Knorr,
Here.
Alder Madden,
Here.
Member Bechtel,
Here.
and Member Dina Karin.
Yes.
All right, we have quorum. Thank you. Our first agenda item is reviewing the minutes of July 14th meeting. Does anybody have any edits or comments on the last meeting's minutes? Not hearing any, so we'll accept those minutes as they were published. And the next agenda item is consideration, discussion, and possible action on the North High Point Traffic Calming Bid Award. Ben, do you want to give us the highlights on?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So you'll recall we brought this item earlier to you. I believe it was in June after we had opened bids and bids had come back initially above what we had budgeted for the project. So that was $35,000 is what we had initially budgeted for this. We thought potentially there would be a chance for savings if we had pushed the bid back or rebid the project. Those bids were opened on July 17th. We only received one bidder. Potential reasons for that is right towards the end of the season, maybe companies are already, their books are already filled up. But that was kind of a risk we knew we were taking. We did receive a bid from Parisi Construction. That bid amount was $67,080. You'll recall in June, this is very similar to what bids were when we opened those back in June, all in the $60,000 range. So at least we're seeing similar pricing, I guess. Staff, we're definitely cognizant of the committee's direction that we want to move forward with this project, despite the fact that the budget doesn't necessarily align with what the bids came in at. So staff are recommending moving forward with the project, awarding the bid to Parisi. This obviously will require a budget amendment. So staff are working with the finance department to kind of determine from where the budget will come from, but that will be forthcoming and we'll bring that to the Finance and Personnel Committee the first week of August and then also to Common Council that same night. Staff are recommending awarding the bid to Parisi, and then the corresponding budget amendment will be a part of that as well. So happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Alder Myers?
Yeah, I move approval, or I move that we recommend awarding this bid to Parisi Construction LLC as a budget amendment to Finance and Personnel Committee and then to Common Council.
I will second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll open it up for discussion, and I would like to recognize the gentleman here if you want to state your name and address. And
Hi, I'm Bill Buxom, 7814 Cobblestone Circle. Great presentation Ben just gave. I would just perhaps recommend that you might consider, if this does pass, that additional language which you used, which is not in here, is that this is the second time that it was bid and the second time that it came in well over budget. And the first time, more than one company bid on it. But I was just thinking that perhaps it might answer a question to the council that because they're not privy to what we've talked about. That's all I've got to say. Thanks.
thank you.
More than likely, that would be discussed with council anyway during the presentation.
Correct.
By you.
Yeah. But no, that's good background for sure to include.
Yeah, so not no concerns on your part that we're only getting one bid this time because we've had previous bids that are similar?
Yeah, right. I think the fact that they align price wise makes sense, and yeah, I think right. The number of bidders likely has to do more with inability to fit it in within their workloads, despite the fact that it's towards the end of the construction season. Is kind of what we're thinking.
And we would still be on target to do the project in the fall and have it be
Correct. Yep,
completed by,
yep.
okay.
That's our plan. So
I think I know the answer to this question, but the city's worked with Parisi on projects and
yes,
it's like a familiar company in that
it
sense.
is.
So, okay.
Yep, yep. They're a well-known company within the Dane County area. I think they've been purchased by Walbeck, is kind of the larger firm that they are now part of. But yeah, it's a reputable firm that we've had good interactions with.
Yeah, I was just gonna add where I work too, the bid prices are coming in high. And there's no sign of it slowing down right now. So if we were to wait till next year, I wouldn't expect it to be any lower, probably higher.
Yeah, I agree. I think in terms of next year's pricing, yeah, I think it's a big question mark in terms of how high are they going to go. But yeah, we've been seeing increasing trends, unfortunately. So
I'm also in favor of, I think it's reasonable. I'm in favor of awarding as well. Any more discussion? I see Todd, you have your hand up. I don't know who raised their hand first. I see Jared as well. So Todd, you're recognized.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Just a question. I commute from West Madison to Middleton High School. I work at Middleton High School, and I just had a question about the traffic calming measures. Was that more meant for purely safety reasons, or is it more for trying to discourage cut throughs through the area?
the original intent was for traffic safety purposes, right? So I think this dates back, and there's a few residents here as well who probably could speak better to this than I could. But right, I think we noticed increased speeds within this area, and this was part of a neighborhood traffic management program that residents went through the process. And right, the intent was to slow speeds within this area.
Okay, okay. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Jared, you're recognized.
Thank you. This is Jared Vincent, 1703 North High Point Road. I attended the last meeting with Bill when we discussed this, and I know some of the contract or some of the bids that came in last time were contractors that were not as familiar with this type of work. Do you feel that Parisi is this is well within their abilities?
Yes, yep. The city actually currently has contracts with Parisi for road construction work. So I think this certainly falls within their wheelhouse.
Okay. Yeah, from what I know of them, I think they would be able to do something like this well. So just wanted to make that clarification.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion? Todd, I see you still have your hand up. Did you have something else, or is that from earlier? All right, thank you.
Sorry about that.
No problem. All right, I think we're ready for a vote. All those in favor of passing the motion from Alder Myers, please say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries. And our next agenda item is discussion of leaf collection costs.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'll start with this. We also have Brad Hopwood, who's our Assistant Director of Public Works, and he oversees the day-to-day operations of our Public Works staff. So Alder Myers had requested kind of a discussion piece on the cost of leaf collection. That city staff.
Also brush collection, Ben.
Oh.
I requested brush and leaf collection.
Oh, Okay, I apologize. Well, at least we have leaf collection today, and we can certainly bring brush collection forward at the next meeting. Um, so in your packet, you have the leaf and yard waste service. So it's a service provided to residents. So it's admittedly a pretty labor intensive process. So we usually have two trucks that go out, and it's essentially a large vacuum. So the trucks go and collect the leaves curbside, along with garden waste. So thinking things that you pull from your garden, compost, stuff like that, or things that could be compostable. So in terms of the cost, so we broke it out by both staff time as well as the labor cost, fuel cost, and maintenance cost. We have the data from 2022 through 2024, broken out in the table that's in your packet. You can see the cost is somewhat increasing as the years have gone on. Couple of variables is right if trucks or the equipment themselves break down and require significant repairs, that obviously will cause some spikes. Also labor cost, as our staff kind of progress through the pay plan, obviously their time will cause some increased costs there as well. And fuel cost is a kind of a variability that we have to factor into as well. So you'll see within the table, right, the range is from 50,000 in 2022 to 65,000 last year. So yeah, that's kind of the breakout of our costs. And like I said, Alder Myers, I apologize. We will bring the cost of brush collection to the next meeting. And I guess just a reminder to the committee and to residents, if you ever have brush or yard waste, and a collection time isn't nearby, you can always take it to the MRD, the composting site that's off of Highway Q, as you're going north towards Wanakee. So that is available to residents as well.
All right, thank you, Ben. We don't have any action on this agenda item, but yeah, I was gonna ask you anyway. Alder Myers, do you want to comment or do you have any discussion on that?
Oh, yeah, I just thought that it might be first, thank you for including the maintenance cost of the vehicles in this, Ben. I know that my colleague Alder Hanairo, who is on this call, has always asked for that in every single item that's ever gone to finance from us. So I appreciate you including it because it is a meaningful cost that we should consider with the vehicles that we're using. Uh, what I'm seeing is that it costs us approximately $52 an hour, give or take, for the last year to collect leaves. Um, would the cost be similar for brush? Do you or Brad know that offhand?
The cost would the overall cost would be greater, simply because our brush collection is almost year round.
That's why I'm asking per hour.
Sure. Brad, do you want to chime in? I can quick pull up that table.
So if you're talking per hour, that's going to depend. We use LTEs during the summer for brush collection, which brings the cost down labor wise. Instead of paying you the full-time rate, we're not paying for any of that stuff. So I would say it'd be comparable, a little bit higher probably, just because it is more year round than leaf collection is.
And approximately how many hours for brush collection?
I'd have to get back to you on that one. I don't have that right in front of me here.
Okay. Can we please include this and brush collection as line items for a discussion during the budget meeting, Ben?
Sure. Yep. We'll include this with our next meeting in August.
Thank you.
The chair recognizes Lisa.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to clarify that with the successful stormwater referendum last year, leaf collection, brush collection, those costs are now part of the stormwater utility budget. So technically, these are this is an issue that the stormwater utility, which is now part of the Water Resources Management Commission, should be addressing. And I know Don is our liaison, correct, Don?
Yes,
So I just brought that up because before anything goes to council or finance related to this topic, it should also go to WRMC. Please, thanks.
Thanks, Lisa.
that's a good point, Lisa. If nothing else, it benefits with control of waste in the streams and as well as in the ponds.
Yeah. No, I think leaf collection certainly has an impact on
Yes, yes.
the stormwater systems.
Any other comments on that agenda item? Okay, since there's no action on that, we'll move on to the next item, which is consideration, discussion, and possible action on well number 8, BFD. Ben, do you want to brief us on that?
Yeah, I'll take that. So this relates to some issues that the water utility has been experiencing at well number 8. So the VFD, which is a variable frequency drive, is overheating within the utility cabinet. So that's causing some issues within the well for the well head itself. And I'll probably defer to member Canor as well, as he's got legitimate experience with VFDs. Mike Meyer, utility manager, couldn't make it tonight, but to cut to the chase, so the VFD is failing. It is past its useful life. I think it's at 17 years, and the kind of current life cycle is probably around 10 to 15 at tops. So it's a piece of equipment that needs to be replaced. Kind of adding to this, I don't know if serious of the issue, but the kind of the importance of the issue is we've got some other wells that are going through rehabs. We talked about the well 5 and 7 rehabs that are kind of in process. So the idea of having multiple wells offline is not something that the water utility wants to experience or would be good for the overall water system. So this is a piece of equipment that needs to get replaced. This would also require a budget amendment. It's not a planned purchase, unfortunately. So this would be something that we would bring to the Finance and Personnel Committee as well as the Common Council at their next meeting in August. So staff are recommending approval of the agreement with Ultranex Control Systems for the replacement of that VFD at well number 8 for an amount not to exceed $40,000. And it also would have a corresponding budget amendment to go along with that as well.
Not to correct you, Ben, but it's electronics.
Electronics. Okay, got it. I wouldn't have thought of that how it's spelled, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, we're looking for a motion or a discussion on any questions to Ben first.
I'll make the motion. Oh, go ahead.
I just have a question. Totally makes sense to me. Replacing equipment that needs to be replaced to make sure the water system works is like completely reasonable.
Mhm.
I'm just curious. Obviously, if you have a general idea of like, okay, the lifespan of this machine might be 10 to 15 years.
Yep.
For the whole system, if you do keep tabs on like how old everything is, and then do you kind of very lightly earmark like when you think you might replace. So is this pretty close to like what you guys thought, or is this kind of like, whoa, that was not out of the blue, but like
Sure.
unexpected, I guess?
I think probably for this case, it might have been a little bit unexpected. But yes, I think our staff are working on developing a more robust kind of capital improvement plan for the wells as well. So they're definitely on a cycle in terms of when they need to get rehabbed and parts need to get replaced. And we've been working a lot with Strand. It's an engineering consulting firm who've really been helping us kind of developing a long-term plan for capital improvements at our wells.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we recommend to Finance and Common Council along with a budget reconciliation proposal for contract with electronics not to exceed $40,000.
I'll second that. So we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor of passing the motion, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. And onto our liaison briefings. So starting with Mary, did you guys have a Conservancy Lands Committee meeting since our last meeting?
Yes, we did last Wednesday.
Okay,
So the primary item that was discussed was the Graber Pond Conservancy Land Management Project. So there was a community meeting right before that Alder Hanairo led, and we had presentations from the company that would be managing this project. And so it was just discussion. There wasn't any immediate action, and it ultimately got referred back to water management. So I think the Conservancy, that plan itself will go once more through the cycle before there's anything major to report in that regard. And yeah, if anyone is interested, reach out to your alder people, I guess, to ask questions about that and check out the plan. I don't believe from me listening that there was any big thing with that, or that agenda item that had to do with Public Works. The one thing that, as we got further throughout the meeting, we talked about the budget process in a similar way that Ben brought it up here, just to think about this is what might be coming down the pike for this year. And then they even went down to 2030. And something that came up that I do think is very relevant for this committee that I wanted to ask about was they were talking about the Pheasant Branch Creek corridor trailhead. So there was one quick image, but it wasn't a fully fleshed out plan at all of what that might look like with a parking lot and restrooms. And does everyone know where I'm talking about, where Pheasant Branch crosses Century Avenue? That's exactly the spot. And so the idea was, okay, we might have this, beautiful trailhead in Pheasant Branch, but whatever that might look like from the Public Works perspective, the thing that everyone was really focused on wasn't the amenities in the sense of the bathroom and whatever. It was creating a connection underneath the bridge. And so the reason that I brought that up, because I'm again just jumping in fairly recently to the Public Works discussions, they were talking about it makes sense to make the trail connection under the bridge when the county redoes the bridge. So I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know if everyone's nodding. Yeah. So is that happening this year or next year? No one talked about specific dates, but I do agree that would make sense. So.
Sure. So I believe, and Luke you can chime in if I'm wrong, but I believe that is scheduled for 2027 when the actual bridge is going to be replaced. So they're in the preliminary design phase of it right now. And it's actually a county-led project because it's technically County Highway M, I believe. So
Ben, just point of order. We noticed this is no discussion or action, and we're discussing it.
Okay.
Sorry.
So just for my own reference, so then how do we ask questions about this and follow up about this? Does this need to be on the next meeting? Because I do think it's worth us understanding from a Public Works
we can certainly
committee
add it
perspective
to the next agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially as budgets come into play, I think that this is very much worth discussing. Obviously, I don't want to go.
Yeah, sorry.
I will add it to the next Public Works agenda.
yeah, that's a good point though, because it will impact Public Works. It may come up anyways in our agendas.
Yeah,
It's good that committee is kind of
thinking about it.
watching, thinking about it too. Is there anything else that came out of that meeting?
That was the main, I would say, from the Public Works liaison perspective, without going through the whole agenda, I think that would be the most relevant one. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see, we don't have Carrie tonight for Ped Bike and Transit Committee.
You do have me.
I was looking around you wanna,
Yeah, so a couple of things from a Public Works perspective that came out of the Ped Bike Transit meeting is we did also discuss the Graber Pond and Bach Forest trail system and what kinds of surfaces in particular. Now, I know that's largely parks, but
Mhm.
you know, Public
Sure.
Works is gonna have its hands in that as well. And that will likely be discussed in our joint meeting with the Bike and Transit Committee. The other major concern that came up is the lack of adherence to our Complete Streets program
Mhm.
with some of the projects going on with the city.
Sure.
And we can put that in a future agenda item because
Sure.
obviously we don't want to go into a full discussion, but you can review their comments at the last, from the last meeting, but having, say, for example, two or both of the major sidewalk connections going across Century and Allen and having nowhere to
Mhm.
cross there.
Mhm.
We don't want to see that happen, period. We definitely don't want to see it happen more in the future.
Sure.
And how do we avoid that?
Okay, thank you. And Water Resources Management and Stormwater Utility Commission, Don?
It's just water resources management.
Reading.
Stormwater has been removed from the acronym,
Okay.
is it not?
I believe, yeah, I believe that's correct.
It's no longer firms. It's
Because I couldn't remember the whole acronym. We wanted to shorten it, probably just for me. We did a lot of discussion on the proposals and then ultimately hired an engineering firm to do we'll call it stormwater management plan and program for the north side with the new developments going in, everything else going into Graver Pond, et cetera, all the way through. And I'm sure Lisa will correct me if I'm wrong on this, but anyway, we did ultimately hire an engineer to do that as best they can, because there's a stretch that's going to be somewhat incomplete, but they'll make estimates to do it, get it through. There was a lengthy discussion about no swimming signs along the creek. And we passed that on to you guys.
Let's discuss.
Because that's not part of our responsibility. We don't put up no swim signs. And trying to think, Lisa, it was a really long meeting. I might have slept through half of it. Is there anything else that I missed? It was key.
No, not that's key. And I think I didn't see the gesture you made when you said we passed the issue of no swimming signs onto you all, Conservancy
Oh,
Lake.
I'm sorry, Conservancy lands, yes. Let them deal with it. It's not in our purview, so to speak. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go around and see if anyone has future meeting agenda items. We'll start with Guy Autry. Do you have anything for the next meeting?
No, not right now.
Okay. Alder Myers.
Come back to me.
All right. Alder Madden.
I'd like to have a discussion about how we communicate some of the city public works to the public. We talked last time about, you know, hey, there's a link and there's a city sign up. But I was coming off of the exit on Greenway and there's a big, nice electronic message board that says, hey, this ramp is going to be closed. And some of those would have been awfully nice on some of those projects. And so how do we have a policy that we adhere to when we notify the public physically on those streets that there's going to be closings?
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Marion, do you have anything?
No, I think if we talk about the bridge item that we were kind of talking about, that would be lovely, and that's about it.
Yeah, okay. So then that would be like maybe a Public Works Committee stance on that bridge, although I think it's designed already.
Yeah, it is designed. We've seen
Yeah.
final design. So
Okay. Well, we can just kind of review where that project's at.
Sure.
in fact,
We haven't talked about it.
then bring in the plans for it if you can.
Yeah.
It's a strand project. So you
And I don't, Don, do you have anything for this? I do not either. Okay.
We were coming back to Charles.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Like you
Alder
were,
Myers, I was just about to.
Just about. So I'd like to have a discussion of amending our standard contract with city contractors to include adherence to the Complete Streets policy when they are engaged in road road construction, road reconstruction, and intersection construction. And I would also like to have a discussion of communication expectations for city contractors and whether we want to put that into our agreement in a more rigid form as well.
Anything else, Charles?
Just as a point of information, we discussed the bridge under Century Avenue, the underpass, in early 2024, and voted on the final design at that meeting.
Okay.
Like a public works, just to
It
clarify.
was a public work.
It was, okay.
They came in and presented it to us.
All right. I think that's the end of our agenda, so I adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
It's a underpass to nowhere.